Men. I will just never understand their lack of proper communication. So I've been speaking to this guy for the past few weeks, right? You know, messaging every day, back and forth, here and there. We're chatting on Sunday and he asked me a question, so I reply. We're now on Tuesday. He hasn't even read it. So I'm like, hello, need some attention over here. So I message him. Hi, hope you're okay. If you don't want to speak to me, it's absolutely fine, but just let me know rather than being ignorant. My message is back like, what are you on about? I haven't ignored you. Why would you think that of me, with a little embarrassed face? I mean, maybe, just maybe, it has something to do with the fact you haven't spoken to me for 2 days. You haven't even bothered to read my message, but you have had time to change your WhatsApp photo.
The girl demonstrates how important communication is in relationships, and they commonly point out that men fail epically at it. The fact is that men and women have different methods of communication, and this is that misread by them as a lack of communication. She comes off to me as a little bit complainer more than someone willing to be actually in a listening position. Probably that's why she's being ignored, or you can assume that guy is trying to be mysterious and also showing a little bit of his dark traits, ignoring her, trying to get her to chase him. I will assume that they slept together in this stage as she has strong emotions for him. Another alternative is he may be losing interest or he doesn't like her anymore. So there are a few scenarios here, but I will break down the communication between them and give you a deeper insight. So it is easy for men to misread women's emotions. They can often be confusing. When communicating, women do so to bond and grow intimacy in the relationship, while men communicate to simply pass information. Women don't understand that you being silent means you don't have anything to say, or it will not serve the purpose of what is happening in the current situation. Being silent to a woman means something is wrong. So she will want to talk about your silence and understand if she did anything wrong or if something is wrong with you. So her video says it all. The lady thinks the guy she was talking to was ignoring her and went to the extent of thinking he didn't want to talk to her anymore. A woman can biologically feel and speak at the same time, but men have to shift between the two. It is just how our brains work. Having an emotional conversation is difficult for us men, and now we get to understand why. It's biological. The problem comes in where the women can do this and they expect us to do it. The solution: get yourself a woman who you can understand and who well understands you, to have actually a working communication model in your relationship. The goal of communication is that the other person understands what you are communicating. As a man, ensure your message is understood, and as a listener, which is a role you probably play often, make sure to understand the message. Learning and understanding your partner involves having an open communication at the start of a relationship. When speaking to her, double check to see that actually she understands what you're saying, even asking questions. This ensures clarity and sets up a road for open communication moving forward. Otherwise, you will start a relationship with toxic emotions and you have to manage her and babysit her. When learning her communication language, listening is the key. Let her speak. Watch her as she speaks. There's so much you can learn about a person by the way they speak. This would tell you her inclinations and her body language when she actually is happy versus when she's sad or angry. Taking time to listen and watch your woman gives you another level of understanding of her and getting to know her, making it easy to connect with her and figuring out how to merge your way communicating with her so that both of you have clarity while communicating with each other. The differences in our communication styles with women are not only about how we do it, but also why we communicate. A similar statement may mean different things to a man and a woman. Interpretation is a key and is what determines your response. Men generally seek independence while women seek intimacy. In relationships, you may make a decision that involves both of you because of this instinct, and this might sit very badly with your partner because she's more concerned with knowing that actually you two are a team making important decisions together. Such misunderstandings are common. As a man, having to ask your women about every move you make will feel like a defeat, like your power and role as a man is not yours anymore. For the women, she feels more connected to you and recognize when you do that. So find the balance. It may go wrong as you may looking for her approval or permission, and this is a deadly mistake. Definitely balance it. In conversation, women seek understanding and support while men give solutions. When a woman complains about something, men view it as a problem that needs a solution. In the real sense, the women only needed to vent and to have someone to listen to them and give emotional support. This is a situation that poses a challenge to most women because most of them are not solution oriented. It can be frustrating when there's a kind of misfit in your conversation as a couple. Nothing is of more importance to a man than his status in society. This can be seen even in how we communicate. Men will communicate to maintain their status in society while women communicate to give and get support. We view the world in the sense of a competition, looking to make the most of situation to stabilize their status. Women, on the other hand, view the world as a network of connections. They look forward to interacting and connecting, and more so in relationships. Men speak in form of orders. We speak in direct wording expressing what we want. Women speak politely and seek to make proposals more than making orders. Now, because of our differences, a man will not feel prompted but compelled to do what the woman has proposed. This is because we understand their proposals as orders in line with how we think and speak. It's paramount as a man to understand where the woman is coming from before having our egos wounded by the proposals. As a way of resolving differences and therefore affirming their status, men use confrontational language. When this communication style is used on a woman, it tends to be seen as hostile. Women are tender beings and prefer to avoid conflict altogether, especially in communication with someone they care for. They focus on resolving disagreements without any confrontation to maintain the intimacy and connection within the relationship. It may be difficult for men to communicate with women mostly because communication stems from a place of vulnerability, which to men is another name for being a simp. This is where we get it wrong. Men are conditioned not to be in touch with their feelings. Most of us don't understand them, let alone talk about them. We push emotions and feeling aside and remain logical and technical. To have a good communication takes paying attention to your feelings. So try to understand why you are feeling what you are feeling in specific situations. This may be hard at first, but it takes courage and strength to have emotional intelligence. Communicating to your women what you are feeling in a given situation and the reaction it is causing in you is an act of boldness that opens up a space for vulnerability in your relationship. It makes it easier to speak to each other and connect deeper, even with you understanding her emotion as you do your own. So it is important to take the bull by the horns and trust your partner. We find it difficult to put ourselves and our partners in situations that we cannot control, especially if emotions are at play. We tend to go for the easy way out in communication, even if it means being dishonest. Have a partner you trust, one that you are comfortable around, even in awkward times. In such moments, communicate with honesty and give each other a time to speak and listen to each other. Problems are not meant to be fixed immediately. As long as both parties are on the same page and have come to an understanding, the things will get easier. Every relationship has its issues, and in such instances, it's great to remember that we don't always get what we want. This means that in some ways, we should be ready to compromise. Compromise in relationship is a big step, and it says a lot about your connection. When discussed and agreed upon without any hard feelings, having to take a small loss for both of you to sustain a working relationship at the end of the day feels like a big win. What not to do in communication is go silent. Like I said earlier, This is interpreted as a problem indicator by women and only sparks fire in the relationship. If you have a problem, identify ways to talk about it. You can create an environment that feels much safer for you to open up and talk. Thinking about what you want to say beforehand is a good preparation tactic. Don't walk away from an important conversation. This doesn't solve any problem. If things start getting heated in the middle of a conversation, you can take a step back and allow for temperatures to cool down before embarking on the discussion. This allows for being level-headed when making decisions and having meaningful conversations. We began this conversation with a woman detailing that men barely recognize the emotions of women unless they act the way we would otherwise respond. As true as that it is, I believe it is easier now to understand women's emotions and how to communicate with them. So I hope you have identified where you can make a difference to be a better communicator. So guys, if you want to have a frank chat with me, click the link below and schedule a conversation. You and I will break any barriers that are sabotaging your success in dating. I hope to see you in my next video.